Shift gears here for a second because it's important. I mentioned over the weekend I saw my 61-year-old cousin, who's younger than me by a year, but so flexible, it just could not be more frustrating. You think I'd be big enough to go, oh, isn't that great? Look how good he feels. Yeah, I know. No, I'm not that kind of person.
You got a little jealous?
Very jealous. And part of that's genetics, but part of that is working at it. And Arlene Santiago is a mobility and wellness trainer. And Jane, you know this well, that her goal in life is to make sure that older folks maximize their lives for as long as they possibly can. So say hi to our friend Arlene, Jane.
Hi, Arlene. Thanks for coming in today, waking up bright and early and getting us motivated to move. When you explain this to me, because Steve was talking about this stretching and versus his cousin that's 1 year younger, partly genetic. And Steve, were you guys just doing toe touches? Is stretching part of this mobility for us, Arlene?
Watching him swing a golf club was my stretching.
Yeah, absolutely. When we are not moving as much, we do get stiff. So your family member there that is golfing, he's moving. So he has the mobility, and he probably has that flexibility to do those things. And when you're not moving as much, you think about it, when your mom probably said, sit up in the chair or you're going to stay like that. Well, it's kind of the same thing when you're sitting down and you're slunched over and you're, working on the computer all day and you're not necessarily moving. You're just sitting, being sedentary.
It's hard to believe that in this physically strenuous job we have where we sit in a chair for 3.5 hours that we could possibly be stiff. But I get what you're talking about. But that genetics piece of it, some people are more genetically predisposed to be more flexible longer. But that doesn't mean you're off the hook by way of an excuse or because your genetics are better. You got to keep working at it, right?
Yes, you do absolutely have to get to work at it. You have to work. You have to get up from the chair and move the joints that you're not moving. I mean, a lot of people are sitting at the desks, 8, 12, 16 hours a day. They have lower back pain, hip pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, all these things just from sitting. And you would think, if you had a physical job, of course, it comes with the territory, but sitting in a desk doesn't necessarily, you feel like it should hurt because you're relaxing.
Yeah, and so just sitting here makes my neck hurt just thinking about it. And a lot of times we're sedentary. We want people to get up and move, but part of it is a mental thing too. Like, I don't really want to go to the gym or go out for a walk. It's raining or not as nice. Talk about it from a mental perspective. How do we flip the switch to say, like in Steve's case, I'm going to do 5 minutes of extra stretching a day. And Steve's very active, playing golf and all the things, but how do we flip the switch? How do we do the things that we just don't really wanna?
Well, you kind of have to want to.
Well, that's the thing.
You kind of have to want to. If you're resisting it because you don't want to, well, it affects your body, it affects your mentality, it affects how you move. But if you want to, and you don't necessarily want to just go balls out and just do burpees and all those things. You could just start off with just getting up from your chair and taking a walk around the house or taking a walk around the office or maybe moving yourself side to side in your chair every 15, 20 minutes so you don't necessarily feel so stiff.
Arlene, I don't know if you've heard Clint Eastwood's thing, but our friend Tom Dreesen, who's been friends with Eastwood forever, went to Clint Eastwood after he had turned 90, and he was still directing movies, and he's directed several since he turned 90. And I said, Clint, I don't get how you do this, man. I get you want to do it, and that's great, but I don't get how you do it. And Clint Eastwood said, I don't let the old man in. I don't let the old man in. I get up in the morning, I got the same aches and pains. I don't let the old man in. That, to me, is such a great statement of want, because your body doesn't care what the number is. Your body needs what it needs. And if it hurts, we tend not to do it, right?
Yes, that's true. But you also have to have a reason, your why, and why you want to do things. So as you age, maybe it's your grandchildren's or maybe it's your kids. You want to be able to run around with them and feel good. And, if you're a grandparent, you want those grandchildren to see you with vitality and joy, and not sitting in a chair watching them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing this down as you say this. Don't sit in a chair and just watch him. But man, I'm really good at sitting in a chair.
Steve is good at he's good at sitting, but he's good at dancing with the kids too. Ooh. I will say that. So even how much fun would that be? Because that keeps you moving. If you have the grandkids with the kids, and you just get up and you're like, have a dance party.
Oh yes, even dancing in the chair is fantastic. I teach a class where we're dancing in the chair, and it's absolutely so much fun.
Well, you've hit on something that I think is important. After we do traffic and take the break, I want you to give us rule of three here, 3 specific things that older folks can do. And older, we're not going to put just a specific number at it. There's people that are 50 that feel pretty bad when they wake up in the morning and pretty stiff. But there's people that 75 years old that don't feel so bad. It's just when you're getting older, what your individual body feels like and what you may need to do more of. But I'd love for you, Arlene, to give us 3 things we could specifically do today to maybe get motivated to feeling better when we come back. Is that a good idea?
Sounds good to me.
And Arlene, how do we get a hold of you? How do we come and make you do us and do the work we need to do?
www.arlenesantiago.com. You could follow me on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Easy.
All right. Arlene Santiago is here. She will fix what ails us. I'm going to get up during this break, Nick. But I'll be honest with you, it hurts when I get up. So I do that thing where I stand up and I pretend I'm looking for somebody in the room until the blood returns to my legs.
I think you can stretch right now, Steve. Take this time to stretch.
That's right. I'll do downward dog. I'm going to do downward dog and try not to tip over. Stand by for that. This talking of movement, we're talking about when you get older, but you can have flexibility problems, movement problems, a lack of athletic ability problem. I mean, throughout your life. For instance, the Bears stink. The Bears are top flight athletes, and at least that's what we were told. And over the weekend, they lost again. I just wanted to, just briefly, because we'll get into greater details later, to say to Miranda, were you happy you went to your first Bears game?
Yeah, I actually was. They looked great.
How drunk were you?
The first Bears game ever?
I wasn't expecting them to win. So for how they played pretty well,
Since you weren't expecting them to win, you weren't disappointed when they didn't.
Not at all. And also, when you actually go to the game, it looks like they're all jumping on top of each other. So, I didn't really tell the difference on TV.
Obviously, you're a diehard football fan. Remind me to remind you not to bet on this game. But in the meantime, you were at the game with whom?
My Benjamin.
And he had a great time, I'm sure.
Yeah, he did. He's the kind of guy to kind of sit down and not scream. And so I was doing that for the both of us.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I'm glad you had fun. There had to be somebody there that might. And were you aware of the other fans' disappointment?
No, not at all. The crowd was amazing. Like, I understand why people are Bears fans now, because the atmosphere was electric. I loved it.
Maybe that's the new attitude we all need to take about the Bears. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Just have fun together. Everyone's all in the same bowl. We're just like, let's scream and yell. Whatever.
Bears. That's it. All right, enough about the Bears. Let's get back to what matters. You and your soreness and your stiffness, Jane.
I was talking about my Achilles, my achy legs when I wake up in the morning. But Arlene, you got this idea, or you got this program that movement can recalibrate the communication from the brain to the body. And literally, people can find relief with this recalibration.
Yes.
So explain that. How does that work, and why does it work, and how can I do it too?
Okay. So I am a motor control restoration specialist.
Me
And
too.
if you think about motor control, you think about kids and trying to pick up things and learn how to walk and things like that. But our brain controls all our movements. And our brain also remembers when we go through any type of trauma, where it be a surgery, you have a broken or sprained limb or things like that, or you stub your toe. Your brain remembers those things. And every time throughout our life, whenever we hurt ourselves, your brain remembers and it shifts things. So we start to compensate for things. And we don't notice it until it's big. Like when you have that knee hip replacement, things like that. And you go to physical therapy, you go to the chiropractor, and you get relief because that's what, obviously that's their job. But sometimes you're still not where you want to be.
So how do we make our brain say, okay, my stub toe or my knee injury is not going to affect how I feel today?
Yes, I do something called neuromuscle testing. And basically, I help find the source of where your body is compensating so you can get relief in minutes.
Wow. So what's an example of that? Like what might you find?
So here's an example. I had a client. She couldn't lift both of her arms over her head.
Okay.
And after about 15 minutes, I asked her to bring her arms over her head, and she hadn't been able to do that in 26 years because she fell down the stairs. And she still lifts her arms today, and that's about 4 years ago.
What did you do, though? Like, was it a mental thing, or was it a movement thing, or a stretching thing?
It's neuromuscle testing. I'm basically, it's hard to explain, but I'm basically moving a part of your limb to test whether your signal from your brain to that part of the body is weak or strong. And
so was she physically able to do it, but had a mental block against it until you showed her she could do it?
Not necessarily. I guess it is a brain block that she thought she couldn't do it. But your brain and your body remember that you can't do it. And if you think about it, when you are you're in pain, you remember how you have this cycle of you're walking a certain way. Right. And sometimes it just continues and you're limping forever until you see somebody like me.
You have to have somebody recognize that and show it to you and show you that it doesn't.
Exactly.
And then you stop thinking about it, and then you're able to use it.
Able to do it.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like a multiple-step process, but I'm glad you're out there doing it. All right, so in regards to the rest of us just getting more movement in our lives, 3 things we can do today. Go.
I would say get up from the chair every 30 to 60 minutes. And if you are not able to do that, bring your knee up to your chest and rotate your hip to get more mobility in the hip, and it'll help your back pain. Okay? So do that to both sides. Number 2, continue to just, get up, but do mobility exercises and stretches. So again, bring your knee to your chest, turn side to side, reach up for the ceiling and reach in all different directions. Move your ankles in circles to get the dexterity and the mobility in your ankles so you don't feel that, or that, when you get up from your chair.
Steve, Tom, and Joey are in the room stretching, lifting their knees, rotating their ankles.
Well, it sounds a little dramatic, but embrace the pain. To me, if it hurts, and it's not something that you've broken,
right?
Go in the direction of that hurt.
Yeah, go in the direction just a little bit. You don't want to really hurt yourself.
No, but I'm saying if I'm stiff when I stand up, I'm stiff because I've been sitting down.
Stretch and move.
I'm going to stand up and stretch it out and move it out and shake it out.
Yeah, and what also helps is having your workspace, ergonomic workspace. So you have the lumbar support in your chair, your feet are supported, your keyboard, your wrists are supported, all the things. Maybe a standing desk so you can get up and down and you can move.
We should stand and do our show, Steve.
We should, but we don't. Julie Balke will be on here in a little bit. She's all about the workplace, and we can see if she can get us a deal. Are standing desks still a thing? Because that was such a cool trend for a long time.
Yeah, it's still a thing, and I think it's just great for everyone to just move and be mobile and walk around during their meetings too, just to keep that activity.
All right, one more.
Oh, should I say shoulder rolls?
Yeah.
Shoulder rolls, leg
raises.
raises, shoulder rolls, lift up your legs, and squeeze your butt cheeks, everybody.
Oh, wait, what?
Squeeze your butt cheeks to support that lower back, so you're engaging that core. And the thing is, what's really fun is if you squeeze each butt cheek individually, and you'll notice the signaling is different. One's weak and one's strong.
And
if you practice it.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I'm doing it now. I'm live in my office and I'm doing it now. And even though I'm alone here, I can tell that I really feel like I'm more right-cheeked.
Yeah. I'm more right-cheeked too, but I have to keep on working on the left cheek signaling because, when we do our squats, we are so used to squeezing both, but we have to use them as individual things too, just like we do our limbs.
Was it Jesus that said, turn the other cheek?
That's a different cheek, man.
And we're not symmetrical, right? The body's all different on both
And
sides.
Absolutely. It is.
Yeah, I just never thought about that. I mean, right-handed, left-handed, but I didn't know right cheek, left cheek. That's interesting.
It is.
And it's hard to do. If you do it 10 seconds each cheek and do it for a minute,
Really? I might get a cramp in there.
then stretch it.
Right.
I'm
Stretch
doing,
it,
I'm
rub
doing
it,
the right
do all
cheek
those
right
things.
now.
You know, honestly, Jan, if you rub your own cheek, it's not an HR violation. Feel free.
Oh my gosh. It does. It is sometimes if you're wearing tight pants and you tighten the butt, sometimes it doesn't look good. So you might want to do it in private. Do you know what I mean?
We'll be the definers of that. All right. So listen,
like it.
Arlene Santiago, thanks for all the help this morning. And again, people who want to get a hold of you or follow you, what do they do?
They can reach me on Facebook, Arlene Santiago, Instagram, Arlene S Fitness, or www.arlenesantiago.com.
It's a very nice website. And if you're interested in that motor control restoration, you got a nice little blurb on it right here, too.
I got to tell you, I'm having a little butt cheek party here. I mean, you really started something.
I know, me too.
I'm all about the butt, really.
Really well done by you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Arlene.